Hey guys, it's 𝙀𝙭𝙥𝙖 back. I'd like to do a follow-up video to my previous, the two best strategies for the pulse sacrifice phase, question mark. None of what I do is giving you financial advice. Obviously this is just for entertainment purposes. But previously I laid out a strategy where you can be very conservative and just go in within the first 5 days, locking in the best rate for your hex. The one mistake that I made was assuming that the volume bonus multiplier resets every day, and you need to be monitoring the rankings to see where you might potentially fit within that, right? The correction has been, which Richard confirmed last night on stream, is the volume bonus multiplier is cumulative on your total sacrifice within the same address, given to you after the sacrifice phase for the entirety of the period between day 1 to 16, right? So if you were to dollar cost average, you would get a volume bonus multiplier based on the entirety that you sacrificed, right? And that's the second strategy that I laid out. If you have an appetite for a risk and you're bullish on the price of hex, if that's the token that you're looking to sacrifice, well then dollar cost averaging through days 6 to 16, where though the rate slowly depreciates, if you assume that the price of hex may keep increasing, and previously I laid out that one way you can lock in the best rate when your sacrifice is by setting alerts at levels when hex makes an all-time high, right? So if you log into TradingView right now and set an alert at 20 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents, then every time it goes off, you could rush to your computer or your phone and get the best weighted price at that time. Now, I'm also making this video to give a shout out to the Telegram user 𝙀𝙎𝙀. He's done a great job revamping and significantly improving the pulse sacrifice hex rate calculations table. This spreadsheet now has additional information, such as outlining the days of the sacrifice, so actually putting those numbers, day 1 through 19 to the calendar, right? So it looks like the sacrifice phase will end on the 3rd of August. He also notes the time that the days are reset, as well as the rates, and provides you a calculation of the estimated volume bonus multiplier you can expect based on the USD value that you are sacrificing, right? So now in column S, we have a few new rows. If you add input parameters for the hex amount you're looking to sacrifice, as well as the current price of hex, it will tell you where you could potentially rank within the entirety of the sacrifice period. What I've derived so far is that the current price of 17 cents, if you're sacrificing less than 1 million hex tokens, then you're getting lower than 1.75 as your multiplier. And if you're sacrificing more than 1 million hex tokens at the current price of 17 cents, this will change in the future, you are getting a multiplier of around 1.75 or greater. Now, so what does that mean to you? Well, it means if you're working with a smaller bag and you're bullish on the price of hex, and you're thinking that throughout the sacrifice phase the price will appreciate, then it's in your best interest to focus on sacrificing between days 17, 18, and 19, right? Because you're getting the fixed volume bonus multiplier of 1.75, and that can go further than if you were to sacrifice beforehand and potentially get a multiplier of 1.1 or 1.3. Right? And on the flip side, if you're someone with a larger bag, a bag of more than 1 million hex tokens at the current price of 17 cents, then it means that you need to focus on sacrificing within the first 16 days, because as day 17 rolls in, now you're guaranteed to get not only a worse rate, but also a worse volume bonus multiplier, right? Day 17, 18, 19. So it's not in your best interest, right? Now, I'd like to expand for those that are looking to speculate on the price of hex. They're bullish and they believe that it will continue as liquidity diminishes and each hex token that's for sale becomes more rare and scarce, I want to tell those people that there's a case to be made around the whales of hex. Whales are the most significant participant in an ecosystem such as hex, where they have a lot of sway into the price action of hex. Obviously, relatively short term, right? Long term, there's a lot more participants that are going to influence the price, but short term, it's important to see what they're doing and what their behavior is. So far, with a few whales that are in hex, whales such as the infamous C5, they've continued to dollar cost average into hex. I watched them keep buying the top at 9 cents, and now even at these levels, honestly, they've made the recent tops of 17, 16, 15 cents, but they continue to dollar cost average. On average, they buy about $2 million worth of hex, and I see that number blow up at a certain point, right? So if we look at hex from their perspective, they're looking at their wallets, they're looking at their bag, over 89,000 Ethereum tokens. And if they are active in the hex community and they're watching the Richard streams and Richard's tweets, then they've seen the tweet illustrating the broken parabola in the Ethereum price chart and how Ethereum could reach levels as low as $200, right? They're obviously no stranger to the cycles, and they might still have a positive outlook on Ethereum. But if they're seeking a superior store of value and they're looking at their bag, so far he's got like $500 million of hex tokens staked. And from a while ago, he's seen the price appreciation of that hex stake. And if he's looking to transition his remaining Ethereum bag, or part of it, into hex, he's going to continue dollar cost averaging. Now, if he's also looking to participate in the pulse sacrifice phase, which, to be honest, there's been no evidence of him participating thus far, but these whales are as competitive as you and I, perhaps even more competitive. They aren't just twiddling their thumbs and showing their hand day 1, 2, 3, 4. There could be some activity from them day 5, but I suspect that the smart whales are focusing on day 16. Day 16 has been a date that some people are underreporting. They are underestimating. But in my humble opinion, I believe that we can expect fireworks on day 16 or sooner. The available hex is quickly diminishing, and as the liquidity decreases, the price becomes exponential, right? So as the demand continues, or as demand increases, as more people hear about hex and the sacrifice period, the price will become even more parabolic. And for whales, that could speed it up even more. So the opinion that I have, again, not financial advice, none of what I talk about is financial advice, strictly entertainment information. I could foresee an event where whales such as C5 continue to dollar cost average and appear to stay under the radar, when in reality they're accumulating ammunition for a day when they buy in bulk. They buy the remainder of their allocated Ethereum or USD to make the price of hex explode, and immediately after, sacrifice. If a whale has plans to sacrifice, they're not going to be dollar cost averaging and hoping for the best and watching the leaderboards, which I want to give a shout out to Hextopia on upgrading the pulse lead.xyz website. Highly recommend you check it out. Highly recommend you monitor the top addresses and do some chain analysis to see how much ammunition they're potentially sitting on. Because I can tell you for sure that even the first address currently, I'm not going to name the community member, but I know for a fact that they are planning to sacrifice more through some quick chain analysis, they do have some reserves on other addresses. Now, obviously, I can't speak to their behavior, and I can't guarantee that they will continue to dollar cost average and increase their sacrifice bag. It's kind of intuition. It's kind of just getting in their heads and looking at it from their perspective. And competitive whales that are intelligent, and obviously that you can argue they are relatively intelligent if they've gone to a point where they've become a whale in crypto, right? It means they've gotten in super early. Maybe they've gotten in through the Ethereum ICO, and they've been smart enough to hold on to that as the price has blown up, and they've obtained an insane multiple on their initial investment. So if you have an appetite for risk, if you're looking to take your relatively small bag that you've allocated to sacrificing, and you're looking to make the most of it, consider dollar cost averaging at the peaks of the hex price throughout the first 16 days, and watch what the whales are doing, because I suspect that on day 16, right before day 17 rolls in, and they're going to get a fixed multiplier, they're going to make the most of not only solidifying their number one position and getting that 2.5x volume bonus multiplier, but I suspect that they will make the price of hex explode to maximize their buy-in. All right. Now, this has just been kind of my opinion, something I suspected prior to this, and also something that I've read around the community. So a big contributor I should give a shout out to of this theory is 𝘬𝘧𝗥 on Twitter and Telegram. I'm not the only one, and they are also not the only one that suspects this. It's kind of like common sense if you get inside the heads of these whales, that if they are bullish on the Pulse blockchain, if they believe in the potential that Pulse can have, and they're looking to set themselves up and set up a definitive position on the Pulse network, well, then they need to maximize their sacrifice. And they can do that by not only locking in the best multiplier, right, sacrificing the most, but also sacrificing the maximum value, which they can do by pumping the price of the underlying token at a specific time, right? So they would need to strategically position themselves, maximizing their ammunition going into battle, and then when the time is right for them, maximize that price so that the bag of hex that they are sacrificing becomes so much greater. And their position in the rankings isn't just number one, but it's number one by a stretch. So get excited about the Pulse sacrifice period. Do your best to spread the word, right? Richard has bestowed a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to us. Obviously an opportunity that latecomers to hex are salivating over. You know, if they've missed the boat on getting the, massive, 2,500x, fold on your initial investment from January 5th with hex, and you believe that a new token by Richard Hart with similarly epic game theory behind it could be equally as successful, if not more, then you're obviously looking at Pulse. You're looking to maximize your sacrifice. And if you're seeking this best strategy, then again, not financial advice, but my opinion could be dollar cost average through the 16 days and get a feel for what these whales are doing. Maybe I may be off completely, but maybe I'm onto something. They may be gearing up to get the price of hex to explode and then sacrifice. So if you have alerts set up for their wallet transactions, if you have alerts set up for the price of hex, and I'm talking about set your alerts high, like 50 cents, 75 cents, $1 hex, you need to be on it, and you need to be maximize your bag to get the best sacrifice value possible, right? Focus on the first 16 days to get the best volume bonus multiplier. If you're a smaller guy, focus on days 17, 18, 19. If you also are bullish on the price of hex. If not, spend the first 5 days dollar cost averaging and getting the best rate for your sacrifice. But again, if you just punch in and make some projections based on this updated table that 𝙬𝘏 has so generously, put in the effort to create for us, you may come up with a strategy that meets your needs and matches your personality. That's why I hope this video has been not only informative for users with relatively small bags, less than 1 million hex. I hope that what you can take away is, what I just mentioned about the specific days you should be going in to match your personality. And also for the participants looking to sacrifice more than 1 million hex tokens at the current price of 17 cents, it's in your best interest to dollar cost average through the 16-day period and potentially piggyback off some of the fireworks that these whales could be setting off for us, right? So with that, I like to cut this video because, again, I can talk forever. And stay tuned to my future content where I will most likely be producing additional videos through the sacrifice period, documenting this historic event in the cryptocurrency universe. Thanks, guys. Take care.